old, new. So first issue I'm seeing, see all these? That's been chopped off on this one. So hopefully I can salvage these. Weld it onto that. It's gonna take some extra time. I think I'll focus on getting that cleaned up first. Then come back to Frankensteining these two pieces together. That's okay. Oh well, carry on. So what I'm doing here is just cleaning up all the old spot welds and rust, making it nice and flat and bare metal, so the new spot welds from the new wheel well will have something to grip when I weld them back in. Alright, so I've sliced off that part of the old one with all the spot welds and put it onto here. So I'm just going to, instead of butt welding this, I'm just going to lap it in. It doesn't really matter here because this will all be hidden, especially on the inside, and I'll get a stronger bead across the bottom and here, and then this sort of slots into up in there, backside, and then these spots will get tacked in once the whole thing's in. So I'm just going to clean this up a bit more and start welding. This thing's awesome for getting in tight little rounded edges. Mini belt sander, and use that to clean up, get rid of all the paint on the backside and down here, so I get a nice clean weld. Link in the description. Goal for the day, try and get this onto here, like that. So I'm going to start off cutting this, taking that off, using this as my guide to line up. Okay, got the inner and outer fender welded in. Last video was me cutting this guy off, so I'm going to start patching that into here now. All my spot welds in, just have to grind them back. disconnecting the venting for the fuel tank. In my case, it's diesel, but gotta try and undo all this rusty stuff without busting it. So let's see what happens. Never enough room in the garage. I'm diesel, so should be okay with this. Don't recommend this with gas. Probably just gonna snap from it. Look at that. Science. See if I can get 2 for 2. Gonna do a quick and dirty cut to get rid of this section down here so I can get in and access and all that. I can cut this off quick, cut that off quick, but I gotta drill out all the spot welds from that inner piece and start working my way into out. So this. All right, quickly got that cut off. Now I'm just assessing what else I have to pull out. I'm gonna try and save this section, and then all I have to do is weld in. Probably bring that down like that, but just have to weld that new panel in. There's a bit of pitting here, which I think I can salvage. I have to take off the filler neck, and then I'm replacing this whole panel. I think that's gonna be the easiest. I know it's not bad, but why not get a nice new piece in here? So now I'm just going to repeat the same process as the disassembly of panel from outside, chopping out these spot welds all across here. That's done, and then there's a couple in here and some from the underside. Here we go. Here's where I'm at now. Gonna have to do something about this rust there, and then if you can see back in there, I got a hole. So probably just gonna try and fix that from the inside, maybe cut this panel out, and then I can get in from this side and weld, because I don't want to get into taking all that apart. And there's my new panel that's gonna go in. I haven't decided if I'm gonna leave this on yet or not. It's not too bad, it's just a little bit of surface rust on the back, which I can probably wire brush off and clean up. Here we go. So I did say I didn't want to get into cutting out all the spot welds on this back piece, but there's too much rot on the inside, so I'm going to try and pull some of this out and kind of work on it from the underside. So I'm going to start cutting out these spot welds. slots drilled. There's 3 different layers here. There's this one, there's another piece underneath, and then there's this guy, the structure of the tube. So I'm trying to get to this one, going through the layers here, down through here. I am going to take this piece out because put it in the new piece while I'm at it. So because it's rear support onto the chassis, one of the bumpers goes there, I'll chop it out and replace. This is good though, so I want to keep this and just try and do everything from the inside. This is what I'm working with. Toyota. Okay. Plan of attack time. Do I just cut here? Probably. You can slide up in there, weld there. Let's see what I can figure out. I hate having to do this, but I've got to chop out good metal to get into the bad metal. There's no way of getting in and around that, so here we go. So that's what I was trying to get into. Clean all this up and attack that. All right, this is where I'm at. Chop this, if you know that structure that'll be staying on, I'll be taking this out, cutting this back out to match the piece that's over there drying. I painted it first. So I'm gonna start cleaning this up, getting out this last little piece of rusted crap. Good. So that's the first piece. Just gonna go right in there. Probably gonna chop this top off, cut along the middle section. Boom, straight in. So what I've done here is there's a bit of a lip, which I've left on both pieces. Line those up, and these will appear to match up with the old spot weld, so it looks like I'm in fairly well. Now what I'll do is I'll just cut along this line, do the same thing across the top, and that should plunk into place. And then go around and then weld all that back up. A little clamp on there to hold that nice and tight. So because I cut through at the same time those two pieces, it's almost a perfect fit. And we get that tacked in and start the rebuild. Happy to clean up that rust. Now I'm going to douse everything in some POR 15 metal prep. Over the bare metal. Rust. I'll let that do its thing. Apparently this makes for better welding, etches the metal. We'll also spray some cold galvanization on some parts as well before I put it in, like that one up there. And that should help the rust. I also have the Eastwood encapsulator that I'm going to be spraying with the tube up through all this later on before I paint, as well as the chassis tubes. Everywhere I can get paint, I'm going to get it. So I'm going to let this drip dry, come back in a bit. There you go, all the spots welded in. Stitch weld, butt weld here, across there. Grind these ones down. So we'll get the next piece on. Okie dokie. We're back in. Doing some touch-ups once the vehicle's outside. It's just too cramped back in this corner, but looks pretty good. Now, this panel. Actually, we'll do that guy first while I'm open, and hopefully get this guy tacked in.